Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is David Neyts, and today's topic is how to be less of an introvert. Being an actor or simply the whole film industry means that being an introvert might not be exactly to your advantage. After all, if you would rather be at home enjoying a calm evening reading a book, or watching the latest Netflix show, or simply pondering about life, you may not be making the best out of the opportunities that can present themselves to you from getting out there and networking with people. The whole industry is based on who you know, how much of your work you can put out there, and surrounding yourself with like-minded people. As someone who's in front of the camera all the time, it might come as a surprise to the people watching this channel, but I'm a pretty big introvert. This is why I actually chose this topic. Filming a video by oneself at home is completely different than having to speak to a bunch of strangers. The funny thing is that performing in front of an audience isn't as daunting to me as having small talk with strangers. It's simple, at least in my train of thought. But performing a play or anything really is fine because you've rehearsed the material and you are playing a specific character. Now, having small talk about simple subjects such as daily life, your favorite foods, and don't even get me started about sports, it's super difficult to me. Actually, I do really well in a one-on-one conversation or even a small group of friends, but any party environment is usually pretty uncomfortable to me. I don't drink and I don't like dancing in clubs. Plus, loud music makes it usually really hard to communicate. Oh, and did I mention? I don't like small talk, so I usually end up starting a pretty deep or philosophical topic, which more so than not results in a glazed look from the person I'm speaking to. That's the moment I stop myself and, well, I change topic. Well, now that I've basically poured my heart out about my issues speaking to strangers, you may be wondering, if David is such an introvert, well, how can he advise me on this subject? Well, the thing is that I used to be like that, and at heart, I'm a total introvert. But I was able to overcome a lot of these problems by applying a couple of simple rules. Number one, get out. It seems kind of silly for me to say this, but if you stay at home and don't do anything about it, well, you will remain an introvert. Just go out and start socializing with people. I found that going to local meetups works pretty well. Just find a group that has a hobby that is related to what you like and go to that. I used to go to a bunch of Spanish conversation meetups because it was a great way to force oneself to speak the language. There's literally a meetup for pretty much any subject, from watching movies to knitting to morning hikes. These groups have people who want to meet up with other people and make friends, so that takes away the pressure of having to start a conversation because someone will most likely probably start a conversation with you. Number two, listen to people. What's funny about conversations with total strangers is that you actually don't have to do too much talking. Yep, you heard me right. You can actually talk to someone without having to say much. Thing is that people usually like to speak about themselves, so all you really have to do is listen very carefully to what they are saying and ask a question about what they just said. I used to zone out when I met a new person because I was already thinking about the fact that I might not know what to talk about with them. Later, with much work from my part, I realized that if I was able to actually be in the moment, then I'd be able to actually listen to the person, and there usually is always something to ask, especially if it's a topic that you don't know too much about. Just taking interest in what the other person is saying, well, a conversation will spring out of that. Did I mention too that being a good listener is the number one asset to any actor? Acting teachers always say to be in the moment and listen. So just do that and don't think too much. Number three, it's okay to be yourself. Everyone has insecurities, and if you are an actor like myself, then you probably have a ton of them. We're in a profession where people are constantly watching us and literally judging you from your outer experience as well as whatever you are doing on stage or in front of the camera. This is why it's important to kind of get over the fact that people are always judging and literally don't care. When I was in my teens and early 20s, I was constantly worried about what other people were thinking. Now, what we need to understand in the society that we live in is that nobody's really looking at you. Everybody is worried about their own life, and even if you get noticed for something at one point or another, people have very small memories that they won't even remember the next day or the next week. Everyone is different, and it's okay to just be yourself. Look at celebrities or people that are in the media. They are usually pretty eccentric. We're all our own creature, but we put a facade in front of other people. Just be yourself and realize that by being yourself, people will be attracted to you. And the people who aren't, well, they will simply go away. So just be yourself and you'll be surrounded by people who actually like the true you. Number four, you think you are socially awkward. What you need to understand is that every introvert is actually an extrovert too. We are all a little bit of both. Some are more one than the other. Even the person who is super happy and talking to everyone at a party might actually seem like they are super extrovert, but then come back to their home to enjoy reading a book and drinking a hot tea. It's just that these people have already learned how to overcome their fears and are able to seem like social butterflies. It might be that they even enjoy this moment of socializing. Even introverts like to socialize. We are all social creatures. It's just that sometimes too much stimulation is too much, and we cannot wait to get stimulated by smaller things. Whatever it is, just understand that we are all awkward and weird at heart. Nothing is actually normal. It's just that societies like to set up a bunch of rules that made it into our values as a person. The quicker we can feel less awkward, the faster we can be satisfied with being ourselves. Number 5, practice makes perfect. It goes back to that 10,000 hour rule. You need to do something over and over again in order to become good at it. It doesn't matter how gifted you are at something. If you aren't introduced to it at some point in your life or given the right instructions in order to flourish in whatever field you are talented at, it's really not going to matter. Even the most introvert person can become extrovert in the right circumstances, especially in the acting world. We can't forget that it's a business. So have fun within it, but nothing in business is easy. It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. Just keep at it and do your best. The more you do it, the better you will get at it. If you're in this industry, you cannot do it alone. So you need to figure out a way to surround yourself with the right people. In the end, if you follow all of these steps, eventually you'll be able to become an extrovert, introvert, depending on the situation. Just don't give up on yourself. We only live once, so you might as well make the best out of it. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment too. I feel like I'm repeating it in every video, but please leave a comment too. Comments are fun and allow me to interact with you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.